This video will spoil most of the game, if not all of the game. Outer Wilds is a game you absolutely need to experience first, with no spoilers. So please, if you haven't played it yet, do not watch the video and go play it first. Please. So you decided to play Outer Wilds. So you boot up the game, you click New Expedition, and the only thing on the screen is the text, Wake up. So you wake up. You wake up in a nap at the campfire. You were gazing at the stars when you fell asleep. You take the slate, take a left, and enter the village. You walk around and you take in the sights. They are beautiful. But as you keep walking and talking to people, suddenly the music hits. The mood is very familial, kind of appeasing. Then you meet Galena and Tefra, two kids that want to play with your single scope. They want to play hide and seek with you, so you do it. You keep exploring the village, get past the waterfall, you see a kid throwing rocks at some green clouds. It's actually ghost matter, a deadly substance that will kill you if you enter in contact with it. You see, you are an astronaut, and today is launch day, and your goal is to go to the observatory, so you can get some launch codes, so you can launch. You walk there, you enter it. There's a very odd statue. This museum really creates a sense of familiarity, a sense of accomplishment for your race. You see all that you've accomplished, all that you've discovered. You then carry on upstairs and you talk to Hornfels. He has a launch code. Finally, we can launch. But first, you see a little map of the galaxy on the table. So you interact with it and... wow, this is the whole solar system that you live in. There's a couple planets here, like Giant's Deep, which looks kinda green and cloudy. You have the Ash Twins. You see your home planet, Timberhearth, and its moon, the Atoll Rock. You see Brutal Hollow, but there's also another planet called Dark Bramble, which looks kinda weird, right? It's not like an actual planet. And you also see an asteroid called the Interloper. But enough gazing at the galaxy. It's launch day. You need to launch. But right as you walk out of the museum, the statue does something. Don't worry about it, just keep going. So you keep going to the campfire. You enter the launch codes and you get on your ship. There is a lot to see in Outer Wilds. You could go on maybe Giant's Deep, a very cloudy planet, but beneath the cloudy surface, the planet is actually just full of water and tornadoes. Underneath the surface, there is some blue thing, the core of the planet, and it has some secrets for you. Or you could go on Brutal Hollow maybe. It's a planet that apparently keeps falling into pieces, into a black hole at the center of the planet. Some weird shit. You discover an underground city called the Hanging City, which has a lot of history and personal notes from some people. It's actually an ancient race called the Nomai. They keep talking about warp cores and some other stuff. Whatever, you keep going. There's a lot to explore in Outer Wilds, and the more you explore, the more you uncover the secrets of the Nomai. You learn that they warped here because of a signal called the Eye of the Universe. You then learn about the Quantum Moon maybe? Or maybe you go on the Interloper first, and you're confused because it's an asteroid. There's nothing to do here, right? Well, not really. You can actually go inside it. So you do. You find a way to go inside, and what you discover is apparently something exploded inside the Interloper. So you get out of there and you explore some more. You then learn of something called the Quantum Moon, and you find a way to this Quantum Moon. And once there, you meet someone called Sodonym. It's a living Nomai. There's no way. Well, yeah, there is way. It's not actually a living Nomai, but I'll get into that in a bit. I'm not gonna go into too much detail, the different planets of the game, into the different things you can find on them, because that's not what I want to talk about. But then, suddenly, the music fades out and a new song comes in. Yeah, that was fucking supernova. This video is not an explanation or a walkthrough of Outer Wilds. I don't want to talk about the game itself, but rather what it conveys to the player. You see, Outer Wilds is a game that is like no other. It's a game that teaches you a lot of lessons. The game gives you a feeling of discovery, a feeling of success. The whole time you were just exploring the game. On your first loop, you're just exploring to explore, to discover what the different planets are, to get some lore. But once you've seen your first supernova, then you have a goal, to stop the supernova. And that gives you a feeling of hope, a feeling of direction. That's what pushes you into discovering even more about the Nomai, maybe the statues, or even the orbital probe cannon. All of that into one big thing, the eye of the universe. I'm gonna touch on the DLC for a bit, because right from the start, the DLC gives you a feeling of sadness, maybe even a scary feeling. You see this huge open space, and you see a lot of dead bodies, skeletons. You discover a whole digital world that's hidden, and you wonder, what? Why are these people here? It's the feeling that the whole game, you're chasing some way to end the supernova, right? You find a way to the Atom Project to finally get the warp core, so you can go back to the vessel. And especially during that final voyage, you can't go back in time anymore, because you have the warp core that powers the Atom Project in your hands. You have a feeling of, I can't fail, right? I'm so close to the goal. I'll finally stop the supernova. But the truth is, you don't. And this is what I want to talk about. This is why I'm making this video. The game, the whole time, makes you feeling hopeful, gives you a sense of direction. But that's not what the game is about. It's misleading you, right? Because the more you explore the game, you finally discover that there's no saving the Nomai. They're gone. They've been gone for thousands of years. There's a piece of dialogue in the vessel that's actually in real time, and you read that it's actually been so long that the story of this specific group of Nomai actually turned into a myth. It's been that long. You think to yourself, maybe I can save Solonum. No, but you can't save her. She's dead. The only reason she exists on the Quantum Moon is because that's when she was, when the developer blew up and killed everything in the solar system. She's not actually alive. Her body that exists in the quantum state, so in every single Quantum Moon location, is actually dead, but not on the eye of the universe. That's the only location that wasn't affected, because it's so far away from the interloper that it wasn't caught in a blast radius. If you play the DLC, you think to yourself, maybe I can save the prisoner. Well, no, you can't. The prisoner is also dead. The real body, which is on the stranger, is already decomposed. All these people in this world, this weird digital world, they're all dead. They're only alive because you can exist in that made-up digital world while still being dead in the actual world. So as you speak to a stranger, I actually cried. I'm not gonna lie to you, I actually cried. And every time I watch someone play the game and get to that point, I cry because the stranger tells you the story of a whole race that heard the signal of the Eye of the Universe and was scared. So scared, in fact, that they contained it. And the prisoner was the only one of the race that was actually brave enough to come and stop the containment, even for a brief second. And that's why they're the prisoner. They betrayed their race by letting the Eye of the Universe actually emit its signal and not be contained anymore. And the very touching moment is when you share your knowledge of the universe with the prisoner, because you tell them that everything on the stranger is dead and has been dead for a long time. You tell them that because of his actions, of them letting the eye signal free for a second, the Noma actually heard it, and that's why they came here. And they died because of the interloper that came a bit after. And the prisoner cries. That scream is full of sadness, of emotion. It nods to you, it takes the elevator up, and as you follow them, and you see some footsteps. Well, they actually ended their life. They jump into the water with a lamp, making their lamp turn off. And their life end, because on the actual world, they are already dead. Once again, the game gives you a feeling of sadness, right? A feeling of, I've gone so far, I spent like 15 hours on a DLC. All of that for what? Just to learn that there's nothing I can do to save the prisoner? The prisoner is the centerpiece of the DLC, it's the ending, the finale. You've been working your whole way through to save him. And in the end, it had to end its life. Or rather, it decided to. The feeling of hope that you have to know what's happening, to discover what or who is the prisoner, all of that for it to just end in sadness. So then, you finally do it. You go to the Eye of the Universe. The first time I landed in the museum, I cried once again, genuinely. The game's like, look at all these memories, look at all of those things you've accomplished, all these good times we had, and you have to just keep going forward. You're then put into a forest where you see every galaxy go supernova and fizzle out. As you learn on Vessel, the whole universe is dying, and that's why your sun is going supernova, and you can't stop it. And that's when you realize it. You can't save those little kids you played hide and seek with at the start of the game. You can't save Solenum. You can't save the prisoner. You can't save anyone. The whole time the game gives you so much hope, so many problems to face, and in the end, all you get is sadness and the realization that you won't solve any of those problems. And then, and I love that, the game asks you to collect the Traveler's instruments. You get each one by one. You get Rybeck, Feldspar, Chert, Gabbro, but you also get Solenum's instrument. To try to get the instrument for the prisoner, you have these candles which show the race of the prisoner, your friends and family, and the Nomai. And you have to blow out the candles, which signifies them dying. Because that's what the eye of the universe wants. You have to lose everything. It wants you to create a new universe. That means losing everyone. You won't save your friends. You won't save the race. You won't save Solenum. You won't save Chert. You won't save yourself. Because you can't save anyone. And I love what the prisoner says here. His race was afraid, but he was not. Would the Nomai have done the same? If they also knew what the Eye of the Universe wanted, would they also have been scared of it? After you collect everyone's instruments, they all start playing one by one, and the order of your choosing. And I'll let you enjoy the whole sequence because it brings a tear to my eye every time I hear it. And there it is, a new universe. You can see the logos of what seems to be maybe clans or races, but all of those are just possibilities. And like Solenum says, there will never be more than possibilities unless you actually interact with it. So it's time. You say goodbye to everyone, and you jump into it. Outer Wilds is a game that I absolutely love, probably my favorite game of all time, and that's because it teaches you lessons. It teaches you that sometimes you have to let go. You can't just fix everything. You can't save everything. It gives you so much hope, just like we all have when we have something we don't want to let go of. In a game, it's a supernova. For us, it might be a friendship that we try to find ways to make amends maybe, or maybe try to find a way to get closer again. But sometimes you can't. You just have to let go. That's the only way to be happy again. You have to let go and to keep moving forward. That's what the game teaches you. And that's why Outer Wilds is a masterpiece. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. There's much more to come. I made this video as a first step to come back into content creation because I've been dealing with some very hard feelings mentally lately. And I've been doing much more lately to try and get better. And I really want to make content. I love making content. It may not be in this format though. Follow me on Twitch. You never know when I'm gonna be live. Subscribe because, well, new content coming out, like I said. Also, I finished Better Call Saul a couple days ago. And I don't know why, dude, that fucking show, just like Breaking Bad, it fucked me up emotionally. It's so good, but it's so sad too. Is it weird to feel like this about Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad? I just feel sad when I watch those. Anyway, take care of yourselves and later.